Toyota's MR2 is the undisputed sports car king of Mount Panorama. The tiny 2-litre mid-engined MR2 went to Bathurst this year with a hat-trick of class wins under its belt and a finishing record second to none. In 1993, Argentinian driver Juan Manuel Fangio was the star of the MR2 show, pairing with Canberra's Rick Bates and Sydney racer Peter McKay to take not only their class, but also 6th outright. In 1994, it was the MR2 itself that was to be the star of the James Hardy 12-hour. A new MR2 model made its motor racing debut at the mountain, the MR2 Bathurst, a model born of the success MR2 has had at the mountain. Fangio was back as part of the driver lineup, partnering twin brothers Neil and Rick Bates, sponsored by Vogue magazine. Fangio came to Australia from the USA, where he's engaged in an intensive test program to look at possible Toyota entry in IndyCar racing. The team was brimming with talent. Along with Fangio, Neil Bates was hot from his win in the Australian Rally Championship at the wheel of his Celica, while brother Rick was chasing his 4th straight class win in the James Hardy 12-hour. The new Toyota MR2 Bathurst came to the mountain with more power, less weight, and a significantly improved handling package.
With just a standard car, lapped Bathurst in the same time as the race car did last year, so there's been huge improvements made in the car.
As well as the MR2 Bathurst, Toyota also entered a Celica for international driver Heather Bailey and Sydney-based Gwenda Searle. It was to be the world racing debut of the all-new Savage Celica. In just 4 years, the James Hardy 12-hour production car race has become a proving ground for manufacturers, highlighting what a near-standard showroom specification car can do on the most demanding race circuit in the country. The 12-hour this year attracted a full field of 55 cars, made up of 28 different models from 16 different manufacturers. It is this sort of competition and undeniably hard conditions which attract manufacturers to a race like the James Hardy 12-hour.
Motor racing for us does two things. It improves the breed and it also proves the breed. That is, for example, the MR2 Bathurst is a classic example of a car that's been developed for enthusiasts, but which came about through motor racing. And the second area, proving the breed, another example is we've been testing the brakes here as part of the build-up for the race, and we've found that the brake pads haven't chamfered 1 millimetre, which to our team manager's astonishment is the first car he's ever seen do this. And that type of thing just proves that the engineering works.
Apart from a good car, teamwork is the most essential ingredient in success at a long-distance motor race. Toyota's 2-car team had the expertise which has enabled it to dominate the sports car class in the 12-hour and win the Australian Rally Championship. Intense pre-race preparation was undertaken and pit stops were practiced over and over to ensure that on race day, nothing was left to chance. With a start in the cold pre-dawn at 5 a.m, the James Hardy 12-hour is unique in the world of motor racing. Toyota's team again trumped the opposition by rolling out Formula One-style tyre warmers to put the Dunlop tyres at exactly the right temperature on the cold tarmac. Starting from 15th on the grid, Fangio began the race in the new MR2 Bathurst, chasing many much more powerful and expensive cars. From the works-backed Mazda RX-7s and Porsche 968s to the most powerful car in the race, the Maserati Shamal.
I think Fangio will have the job well in hand. We discussed it and decided it would be best for Fangio to start the race. He's had more experience in starting races than what I would have.
The dark and cold of Bathurst at 5 a.m. was broken with the roar of the 55-car field in a mad dash that would end 12 hours later. Despite the cold, racing temperatures were soon achieved, with brake discs glowing in the dark and 55 pairs of lights darting around the Mount Panorama circuit. Fangio was engaged in an intense struggle in the opening laps with another MR2, that of Toyota dealer John Smith and co-drivers Jason and Scott Barguana. Fangio soon got the upper hand as dawn started to break over the circuit. The crowded track and the high pace took its toll on the field.
Wow. Oh, and he's just about taken one of the Falcons with him, I think.
The all-new Toyota Celica GT4 Group A Rally, enlisted as pace car for the 12-hour race, was soon pressed into action when the track was blocked at the top of the mountain.
and as you can see, very nearly blocking the track.
Fangio had driven the MR2 Bathurst into the top 10 within 3 hours of the start, making time while others were pitting for new brakes and repairs.
Everything is really good and consistent.
In a 12-hour race, success is the result of reliability and consistency. The MR2 team and its sister Celica were proving to be both. The MR2 was consistently lapping at times under those recorded in qualifying and making places while those around it fell. Unfortunately for the new woman Celica, a broken drive shaft would see it retire at half distance. But the team has vowed to be back again in 1995.
It's looking across the top of the mountain. There's not much catches it. We seem to corner very well because obviously we are flat out across the top of the circuit. No problems at all. Traction fantastic, engine fantastic. We're just having a great time here.
The increased pace and intense speed took its toll on the field in the 1994 James Hardy. The leading Mazda of Mark Scaife was out at the 8-hour mark with a blown turbocharger, but still the Toyota MR2 Bathurst kept circulating.
The MR2, touch wood, so touch here somewhere, but it's been going extremely well all day, and we expect it to keep going like that for the rest of the day.
The Toyota team had some special help in the pits when Shadow Minister Bronwyn Bishop stopped to lend a hand. With the race coming down to the last few hours, the MR2 was engaged in a David and Goliath fight with Peter Brock's Volvo Turbo. But the more powerful Volvo was soon back in the pits for a change of brakes and eventually a failed clutch, while the MR2 kept lapping the Mount Panorama track. With the Volvo out of contention, the MR2 was in 4th place outright. For wily team manager Ron Gillard, the closing stages are the most tense.
This is the most nervous part of the race. We've got just over 25 minutes to go, and we've got everything crossed now that everything's okay. We've got a good buffer, just all hangs together, we're right.
At 5 p.m, as the winner crossed the line, the Toyota team was ready to cheer its hero home. The MR2 had once more conquered the mountain and secured its place as one of the champions of the James Hardy 12-hour.
The car was really good, and the thing is, you can rely on the car. You can use the engine, you can use the gearbox, you can use the brakes, and everything will stay together. That's what really counts for a 12-hour race. Plus, I'm very lucky to be with a very experienced team, and also to be with Rick and Neil Bates. They are very good drivers and very nice person too.
One of the most remarkable feats of the MR2 Bathurst was the fact that it completed the race without a brake pad change, averaging 128.9 kilometres per hour for 12 hours and covering more than 249 laps or 1,546 kilometres around the Mount Panorama circuit. 6 laps more than their class-winning car in 1993.
The car ran faultlessly once again. We flogged it all day. We bettered our qualifying time in the race. It stood up to everything we took, and it was still doing, you know, qualifying type laps at the end of the race. But for our weight and speed of the car to finish 4th outright without the brake pad change, obviously the car has exceptional brakes for a production car.
Toyota once again showed the benefit of multi-valve twin-cam technology in a small and efficient package. MR2 Bathurst lived up to the reputation and the expectations of its name, with its best performance yet in the James Hardy 12-hour, taking not only 4th, but also 5th outright in a long, hard day of racing at the circuit which gave the car its name.